What's up, guys? Welcome back to Salon Football. Guys, in my own humble opinion, I think tomorrow is when we're going to have the biggest game of the World Cup so far. I don't think it can get any bigger than this, right? Spain versus France, or France versus Spain, either way. And it's going to happen tomorrow in Dallas at 3 p.m. Unfortunately, I'm going to be at this game as a volunteer. So I'm so much looking forward to it. I'm so much looking forward to meeting the fans. But this is a game that has a lot written onto this because only one of these two teams can actually move forward to play either Argentina or England. And it's massive. This is a huge storyline. This both countries, everybody's gonna be so involved in this. So in this video, I just want to really break down the key storylines that I think are gonna decide this game. I want to talk about players, a couple of some players that are gonna make a huge impact. Because both teams are packed with talented players, huge, incredible players, players that can make difference in every phase of the game. So stick with me and let's talk about this, in the next few minutes. And at the end, I'll give my own prediction because it's definitely hard to predict, but I'll give my own prediction at the end. But before I go any further, guys, please, if you are new to this channel, please do me a favor, subscribe and like the video as well and share. And of course, put down your comment below and let me know who you think is going to win because I will also give my own prediction at the end of the conversation. But I want to start with France. Of course, we know France has been dominating. They've won all their games. They pretty much won all their games, all the way to group games and all the way to the quarterfinals. They dominated. They literally, if you look at that lineup from the goalkeeper to the front, you can't pick no holes in it. You can't. They're incredible. They're stacked. Offensively, they're stacked. Mbappe. You think about Mbappe. You think about Desiree Doué on the left. You got Dembele on the right. Michaelis as a 10. They've been dominant. They have been unplayable. Why? Because they're so good. They have so many options. Okay, their style of play is hard to keep up with. If you think about it, their speed. Think about the speed they play with. You think about the talent they have up front, which allows them to play that way. So nobody has really been able to match up with them. They've considered one goal. I think they considered only one goal. They are so difficult to play against. From back to front. You look at their two center backs, and Pamecano and Saliba. There's nobody really that's going to be able to match them physically. Okay, you look at their midfield; they have experienced players over there. Rabiot and Tchouaméni, these guys play week in and week, in high pressure situation, high pressure games, and they've been here. They've been here before. They've been playing against, Spain, what, for the past few years now, and unfortunately, they've not been able to beat Spain. Spain have been able to come on top. Even in the Nations Cup, the Euros, and all that kind of stuff, Spain have been able to come on top. But France is difficult to play against, and they're gonna make it so hard for Spain, because they just have the players. It's hard for people not to see how France doesn't win this game. It's definitely hard for people not to see. I went to the soccer field today to coach my boys and the other coaches. Everybody just talking about how France is gonna dominate this game, and I can't argue with them too much on that because for me, if anybody's gonna beat France, it's gonna have to be Spain. But again, how Spain gonna do it, I don't. It's just gonna be difficult. It's gonna be difficult because France is just talented, right? Manu and goal, solid. Saliba and Upamecano, solid. Midfield, Tchouaméni, solid. Jules Koundé, solid, right? These guys are just even Digne, solid. You can't get, there's no weak spot in this team. There's no weak spot. You go up front. Think about it as a center back playing against France. You go up front, you have, of course, Mbappe playing as a nine. It's a false nine, but he moves everywhere. Who's going to stop Elise? So they've been dominant. That's why it's hard for anybody to say, oh, they're not going to win this game because they're that good, right? They really, really are that good. They're clinical, of course. They're very clinical in front of goals. They score goals. They don't need too many chances to score goals. They all create their own spaces. The attackers create their own chances. It doesn't matter what's happening back there. They create their own chances. So for me, they look like they have the upper hand. They are really, for a lot of people, so a lot of fans I've been talking to, they just seems like in their mind, France is just gonna walk away with this. Should be an easy game for them. But again, it's just hard for me to say they are not capable of beating Spain. Although I think it might be different. A lot of people are gonna be disappointed about how this is gonna go when it comes to Spain, because Spain is very, very difficult to beat. They'll score goals tomorrow, of course they will, but I just don't know if they'll be able to dominate this game, because they're playing a different opposition. They're playing a team that knows how to play. Spain have won pretty much all the games except the game against Cape Verde. Yeah, let's just talk about Spain for a minute. They've won all their games. They've pretty much dominated, and it's for a lot of people, Spain is very hard to watch. They look boring. They don't. There's not too much speed in that team, especially at the back line. But what they do have is experience. Okay, the game I really watched against Cape Verde, they struggled in that game, but they created chances. Cape Verde was just good defensively. A goalkeeper was incredible. He was good in that game. That's the only game they haven't won so far. But every other game, they've won every other game. Yeah, it might not be pretty, but they've won it. 1-0. I mean, their last game, of course, against Belgium, it was 2-1, but still, the way they play, the chances they create, it's so difficult for me not to see Spain winning this game. As a fan, right, that really don't support any of these teams, but watching them play, they are two different teams. They play differently, right? Spain is difficult. They possess the ball, they keep the ball, they run around with the ball, they make it very hard for the opponent to get hold of the game. Like the amount of passes they're able to connect, the patience is incredible. Yeah, if you think about the way Spain play, it's going to have to take France a lot of time, a lot of patience off the ball, and they have to pick their chances right. Because Spain is not like any other team you play. Since 2010, since they won the World Cup in South Africa, when they won the World Cup in South Africa, these guys don't actually play with a real center forward. They don't. They don't play with a real center forward. They play with a number 10 midfielders as a striker. So it's very hard to pick them up. Very, very difficult to predict the way they play, their patterns, the way they move the ball in the midfield. It's just hard. It's going to be hard for any team to handle them, even France. It's tough because their style of play is their identity, and they have not been able to change that identity in a long time. Every time you watch Spain play in the Euros and in the Nations Cup, their ability to move the ball from side to side and make it hard for opponent to get hold of the ball in positions that can really hurt the Spain defense is very difficult. That's why there's not too many teams. They consider what, four shots in the entire World Cup. I mean, this would be their 6, 7 game. They play 3 group matches and they play round of 32. And then, of course, round of 16. Yeah, they don't concede too many shots. They keep the ball all day. And the saying goes, if you don't give the ball away, you don't lose the game. I don't care who you're playing against. If that team doesn't have the ball, they don't score. And if they don't score, that means you don't lose the game. That's just the way they play, and that's what they believe. That was the Barcelona system, and and they adapted that system. They went to South Africa, I remember back in 2000, and that was the same thing. They keep the ball. They'll keep the ball for 60, 70, 80% of the time, and you just don't have no kick. And when you do have a kick, it's usually in your own back half where you're going to have to go a whole field to have any chance to score against them. So I just think the way they play, they're just going to dominate possession. They're just going to dominate possession in every phase. France is just going to have to be patient. The formations, the lineup, and everything, France is going to have to be so patient playing against Spain. Because if they are not, I don't know how France is going to be able to handle the pressure that Spain is going to be able to put on them. Of course, France has pressure. When I look at the Spain backline, that's my only concern. I look at Laporte, I look at Kubasi. Are they going to be able to? I don't know. Are they going to be able to keep France quiet? Maybe not. But speaking of Spain, they're just a different team. And this is a team that France hasn't played in a while. The last time they played against France, they beat France. Yamal scored one of the best goals I've seen against France. And France people remember that. So it's going to be really tough tomorrow. It's going to be intense. There's not going to be no room for a mistake tomorrow. Any team that make a mistake there, they're going to get punished because these are high-class players. Very, very good players. Technical players in every single position, right? So it's a different team, different style of play, different formations, different tempo. Players that I think that are going to make a difference for me tomorrow. it's all gonna be based on the formation, guys. Spain have their 4-3-3 formation that they like to play, and that's been their formation since 2010, since I can remember. Since they have the players like Iniesta, Xavi, and all those guys, Cesc Fabregas in that midfield. That's their formation. And of course, France adopted the 4-2-3-1. So it's different. It's completely different. France has four of the best players in world football currently. I don't think anybody can debate that. I don't think anybody, I don't care who you support. You can support Barcelona, you can support whoever, you can support my team, Arsenal. Nobody's gonna compete with that. They have four of the best players in that attack line. Mbappe, Elise, Dembele, Desiree Doué. Who's gonna stop those guys for 90 minutes? Who? Somebody can tell me. I just don't know how Spain is gonna be able to deal with that. If they continue to play the way they play, something is gonna happen to them tomorrow. They might not win this game. Yeah, they might not win this match tomorrow because it's just impossible. If you stop Mbappe, Dembele, Desiree Doué, Elise for 90 for let's say 70 minutes, guess what? They bring in four more players. Barcola. Think about that. They have Barcola sitting on the bench. He's not even playing. Think about they have options. They have options that can come in and do defenders all kinds of problems, give you issues. So the formation for me is what's gonna make all the difference tomorrow. It's gonna come down to that midfield for me, unfortunately. The way Spain play, when they overload that midfield, France cannot afford to play that two-man midfield there tomorrow. They're gonna have to think about how to make Elise just sit a little bit to give them a little bit of their triangle. Just sit on top because if you're gonna have uh Chouameni and Rabiot sit just ahead of them, there's a little space there that Spain is gonna put Pedri or Rodri sitting right there. They play three midfielder. Daniel Olmo comes down to play in as an extra midfielder. So France has to think about that tomorrow because it's gonna all happen in that midfield because the width, players on the wing, Mbappe and Michaelis and Dembele might not get on the ball a lot tomorrow. They're gonna have to defend. They're gonna have to because the way Spain play, they force you to play the way you don't want to play, and they're gonna force Spain. They're gonna force France to play the opposite way tomorrow. They're gonna have to, and France gonna have to be patient with that. They're gonna have to defend when they have to defend. I don't care who is going to be playing in that France attack tomorrow. They're going to have to defend because Spain is going to dominate that midfield. Somebody's going to have to be there with Chouameni and Rabiot, right? To pick up Yamal because he's going to be cutting in. And you have Daniel Olmo sitting there. You have Zabal. You don't know where he's picking the ball up. And tomorrow, for the first time, I think Nico Williams is gonna start. Now, I don't know how France the center backs are great, right? Upamecano and Saliba, they're gonna be able to handle Oyarzabal tomorrow. But the problem is gonna be on the width for the Spain side. They have width, they have pace too. Yamal, who's gonna be able to do it? Lucas Hernandez, I'm not too sure he's gonna be able to handle that. You go to the other side. Maybe you can use instead of using Hernandez, you use Digne. I don't see Digne handling Yamal tomorrow. On the right side, maybe they may have success because Jules Koundé, he's used to playing against Iñaki Williams, so he might know how to figure that out. So it's gonna be helping tomorrow. I don't know. Desiree Doué is gonna have to come down there, or you shift, or you're gonna have to move Rabiot a little bit in there to cover. That may help. But when you move Rabiot to the left a little bit to help with that, it leaves space in there for Pedri and Rodri to dominate that midfield. So that's going to be an area tomorrow that France is going to have to be really, really patient, right? And if you go the other side, you look at that Spain backline, I'm worried, right? Cucurella against Desiree, maybe, because, Cucurella against Dembele, maybe, because Cucurella is really good. He can defend. He's really good at 1v1 defending. I've seen him give Saka all kinds of problems. Saka has not had his best days against Cucurella. So he can defend against Dembele. Problem is Dembele is two-footed, so you don't know which way he's going. So that can be interesting tomorrow. And if you go on the left side for Spain, their left back, their right back, I don't know who's going to be playing right back tomorrow for them. Pedro Porro, right? Pedro Porro against Desiree Doué. That's going to be interesting. It's really stacked. It's just going to come down to the fullback areas tomorrow and the midfield. It's two areas, right? The fullback areas for both teams, that's going to make the difference. And then, of course, the center midfield. France has players that can basically take Spain out of this game quickly. But at the same time, what Spain has is experience. Rodri is still there. Rodri is still one of the best midfielders in world football. He's there with Pedri and Dani Olmo, and they still have more players. They have Fabian Ruiz, which I think he's probably going to play tomorrow. And of course, they have Mikel Merino coming off the bench. You never know with this Spain team. So it's difficult. It's difficult to decide this game. You can't decide it on paper. You can only say that, yeah, France has been outstanding because when you see them, it's high tempo. But Spain, they play methodical football, slow, pass, 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 pass. I was at the game last week when they play against Portugal at Dallas Stadium. And even before everybody was going, I was telling most fans that I just see Spain winning this one. I know Portugal had great midfielders, Vitinha and João Neves and all these guys. But the way Spain play, they just make you cold. And when you have the ball, you can't really react. And I can see the same thing happening tomorrow to France. Yes, France has pacey players. They have players that can hurt you in every single phase. They just have to be defending tomorrow a lot without the ball because Spain is not going to give them the ball. Because Spain know they can't physically play against France. So what Spain is going to do what they know. Keep the ball. All right? I think that's what they're going to do. If France going to be able to be patient enough, if they are, they might. But if they're not, I don't know how they win this game tomorrow. So I just think in every position, there's just too many talent, too many players to talk about. It's just going to come down to that formation tomorrow. For Spain, they're going to have to defend really well because Mbappe, he just needs a chance, dude. Just one single chance and he's going to bury it. He's going to score. Yeah, Laporte and Kobasi, I don't see too much pace there. Are they going to be able to handle Mbappe? We'll see. With Rodri sitting there, we'll see. And that goes the same way. It's Lucas Digne and Joe Schooner going to be able to stop Nico Williams and Yamal. And of course the midfield conversation. How's that going to work? We'll see. But guys, it's going to be incredible tomorrow. I have no doubt that whoever wins this game has a huge chance of winning this World Cup. Think about it. Dembele looks hungry. He still wants to win the Ballon d'Or again. I think he will. At this rate, if they win the World Cup, he's just going to have it easily. And what else? They want to win this World Cup. They have a great opportunity tomorrow, but I just don't know. It's hard to call. This is going to be really difficult to call for who's going to win this game. And I know everybody's leaning towards France because they just look formidable. Predicting this game, anybody's just going to just say France going to win this. But I've watched Spain for a very long time, and the team play the same way. They are very composed under pressure. They do not jump in decisions. They take their time. They have players on the wings that can hurt any defense. Right? And I'm just a little worried about that France fullback area, especially when they don't have the extra midfielder. McAllister is not going to defend. He's going to be on the ball a lot. Right? And of course, on the other side, when McAllister is on the ball, who's going to be picking him up for that Spain side? Pedri? Rodri? I don't know if Rodri is going to be able to stay on him. And the worst thing that can happen is Rodri picking the first yellow tomorrow in the first 10, 15 minutes. They'll be done. So it's really hard to call. I'm just going to, I think for me, I've watched a lot of football. And usually experience really matters in this kind of games. In Spain, I've been there a lot. From the World Cup to the Euros and all that kind of stuff. And they know how to play against France. They've played France so many times. They have. So they know how to beat France. They know how to set up against France. They know how to slow them down. It's just about that. Slowing France down. Slowing the attack down. Can you slow them down long enough? If you can, then you have a chance. But if you can't, you don't. And I know Spain knows how to do this. It's tough. I think Spain is going to win this match tomorrow. Based on what I've seen in the past, the way they play, I think they're going to figure out a way how to slow down this offense. I think they have this game tomorrow 2-1. For me, I think they're going to beat France tomorrow 2-1. That's my prediction, guys. Dani Olmo, because that 10 areas where it's going to make all the difference. Rodri, Pedri, Dani Olmo, and these guys, they dominate that midfield tomorrow. And they do that, they beat France. I think my prediction is France losing this game. I think Spain is gonna win 2-1. So that's my prediction, guys. Leave me your prediction down in the comment below. Let me know who you think is gonna win, and please let me know why you think that team that you choose is gonna win. But my prediction is Spain win this game tomorrow 2-1. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Please don't forget to subscribe. Okay, we'll be back here tomorrow to talk about the game after it's over, because I'll be over there tomorrow, of course, in Dallas at the Dallas Stadium to help out in any way that I can. But it should be a good game, and everybody should watch it because it's been building up. There's been a lot of stuff happening in the social media about France. France fans are so loud, so it's gonna be incredible tomorrow. So please let me know down in the comment your prediction and why you think that team is gonna win, and we'll be back here tomorrow to talk about the match after it's all over. Okay, thank you very much. See you in the next video. Bye.